slide over a shot. Tequila, rum or whiskey, whatever you got. Hey, pretty lady, where you going so fast? You better understand this night's gonna last. Tell you what, we got a party tonight. Oh, Bill's on piano, John's ready to fight. But if this night starts to go downhill, I'll take up my slug, I ain't afraid to kill. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere soon. Chatting of girls, the saloon door swings. Rifles on their back, strutting in like kings. Mills and Co, the wildest of the West, till Lil comes to do what he does best. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere soon. The scars on his face, a gun in his hand. Well, girls, you best believe this guy's a one-man band. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere, 'cause it's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere soon. Quiet night at a random place. There's a human fish behind the bar. Nothing to do, ain't nothing to see. I just want some action for no fee. I see your random beautiful face. I fell in love from afar, just like a scene from a Shakespeare play. But I had no idea what to say. And I said, hey, what's your name, girl? 'Cause you seem like the best of fun. What's your name, girl? Sure I wasn't your number one. Hey, what's your free. But what do you know, my luck was in. I got ready for a night of sin. We drank another shot or three. Played one for you, two for me. I got so drunk from the bastard game that I completely forgot her name. And I said, hey, what's your name, girl? 'Cause you seem like the best of fun. What's your name, girl? Sure I wasn't your number one. Hey, what's your name, girl? Couldn't believe what I could see. What's your name, girl? I wanted you all for me. Hours later, sun wakes me up. I roll over to see an empty cup, and all that's left is a hasty note. And this is all she wrote. Thank you for that drink for free, but you were way too drunk to get up for me. I hope this fills you up with shame, and I know you'll never remember my name. What's your name? What was your name?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Welsh Esports League. It's our second run around for Overwatch 2, so welcome back for Season 2. It's the first playday. I'm Golimolu, joined once again by Edu, and we saw out the end of last season. We're back, some new teams, some re-emerging faces. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it's a little bit earlier in the day for me, so it's nice
Just
to
a
have
bit,
to get
just a
up
bit.
earlier than my normal schedule. But yeah, it's really fun to be across the pond yet again here over in Wales and looking at some teams. We got a lot here, and as we know, we were looking a little bit about the roster and the behind the scenes before we were talking just a little bit to get us in here, but very similar teams because, of course, here at the Welsh Esports League, I know that we do standardize them just a bit. So we got, of course, the Pirates, the Pit Ponies, the Artists, Robins, Swans, and Wolfhounds. And looking at game one here, I'm pretty excited to see what we can actually do to have these guys start popping off and maybe even doing some damage. But what are your thoughts as, you know, we have Pit Ponies versus Wolfhounds to start us off today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. The Pit Ponies, a re-emerging team from last season, they finished third in the league, so a pretty decent run that they had. They were only a couple points behind the leaders of the entire table, and it kind of came down to a loss on that last playday that kept them off that second place as well. So a team that, you know, we saw last season do really well. A couple re-emerging players, I'm Noob, making an appearance once again, Blue Lion as well. So you've got that sort of foundation of the team from last season with a couple new additions, a couple changes. You'd think upgrades, but you know it's always fun how these changes play out and what teams look like coming in. And of course, it's been a little bit of time since season one, right? We had a lot of changes to the way the game's played, to heroes coming and going, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what both of our teams have decided to settle on for tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We know Wrecking Ball recently got a slight nerf, just decreasing the shield duration because it was at 9 seconds, now down to 7 seconds. So a 2 second decrease is actually pretty big when it comes to the fast-paced gameplay of a
Yeah.
hero shooter like Overwatch. But let's talk maps because obviously there's a lot of characters we could talk about. There's too many to really have. I mean, Lifeweaver being the newest, but of course, I don't think Lifeweaver existed last time we had a tournament here at
No.
Esports Wales. So that might be a new little layer to it. So are we going to see that? Probably not, considering no one likes the guy. But
I was going to say the real question is who's going to be the first player to pull a teammate off the map with Lifeweaver? It's going to happen at some point.
yeah, I mean, it's really good at
It's
killing
got
your
to.
teammates, but enemies, not so good. But let's talk a little bit about maps here, as we are going to be jumping straight into game one. We're on Nepal, and Nepal should be a pretty fun place to be, especially since we, can expect only the best from these players. And honestly, I love this map. I think it's one of the most standardized maps. I think it has been solved, considering Overwatch came out in 2016 and Nepal has been here ever since, I believe. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, it's kind of what you expect to see, right? Teams fighting for that high ground at the start of the game. And look, it's just because it's so strong to have that high ground advantage. If the other team comes in on the low ground, yeah, you can try and push to that point early, but of course it doesn't unlock for the first 40 seconds of the game anyway, so you kind of just sat there waiting while your opponent can plink down on you from above. Already a bit of difference coming up between the two teams, both for the Kirikos and of course, look, Overwatch 2 is faster than its predecessor, and we're seeing teams really lean into that ability to play aggressively and be very mobile, so having that Lucio, of course you're going to have it.
Yeah, and having this Lucio, let's see what they are going to be able to do for speed, because keep in mind, Lucio and Junker Queen on the side here for this side, they're going to move fast. They're going to be able to just burst themselves, and a Symmetra. So they should be able to get onto point faster than anybody else. And look at that. They're already around the corner, but what is this? On the other side, they took the shorter way to manage to get themselves on point, and what a clean pick there that this Hanzo is already doing. Taking out one. Can he get another? Looks like he's not going to be able to, but that's a free sight.
Yeah, and I said you don't maybe want to go for the low ground, but when you've got this Symmetra that you're sticking, you're not dropping it for the teleporter. Getting those turrets deployed can be a great job, but the brothers taking each other out, hands off the table, gives that advantage now over to the Wolfhounds, who are just sort of flying around. They don't want to let it tick over, but the Pit Ponies have managed to grab the first bit of progress.
Yeah, Pit Ponies, they're in the lead right now. They might try to keep that somehow. This Ramantra is not going down quite yet, but now that there aren't that many DPS still remaining here for these attack side players, they're going to have a little bit of an edge. Obviously, both sides are attack side. These guys might be able to deal it. Look at this. Wolfhounds, this tank needs to stay alive and cannot. Beautiful attempt there, but honestly, you're already 1/4 away taking this map here. Now, I gotta ask you, Golo, what are your thoughts regarding this stage of Nepal? Obviously, there's 3 different maps to vary on this game mode, so you gotta tell me, what do you think of this one?
I think this is my second favorite. I really love the indoors one. I just love being able to boot people off and just play around the sort of gap. But I think the big thing here is when you lose control at this point, trying to get in very quickly, and you can see trying to use this Junker Queen and the Lucio combination to get them in there, but it's not really working for them. Just the damage coming out from the Symmetra, but eventually being able to team up onto Blue Line, take down the Ramantra, is going to help them get that progress in the team fight, and you can see them just getting right on top of the remaining squishies from the side of the Pit Ponies, but it doesn't seem to be enough to flip the point just yet. Symmetra doing a good job of staying alive with a bit of pocket coming in from the Lucio and Kiriko, but eventually they will start to fall away, and this way you are going to see that point flipping over. Kiriko just continuing to eat up a bit of that progress though, and now Lucio as well. Like, yeah, you grab that point, but you're looking at the ultimate situation coming in for the Pit Ponies. Blue Line swapping off of the Ramantra now that he's already used the Swarm. You got both DPS ultimates, both support ultimates. Now, this is very easy for them to try and break back in, especially when you've already got that 75%. That's basically a one-fight win condition here, with a bit of a scrabble at the end for overtime.
It's going to be pretty close here, but look at that. We already see Sim getting ulted, and that is a sweet ult from the Junker. Combo it with the Dragons. They might be able to take this point back, and they do. They actually managed to grab it enough, but that is a lot of damage being dealt here by the side of Wolfhounds. But oh my god, they're just taking so much. It's a combo meal. All the ults are getting used right here, right now. It's a last-ditch effort from the side here of Wolfhounds if they want to try to keep themselves in round 1.
If Mythical Mini can get to this Death Blossom, this can really help clean them up. All 4 stacked on top of each other. The Suzu coming in to keep them alive a little bit longer, and they actually managed to live it out. The point hitting overtime now that Pit Ponies have taken it over early in the gunfight. You can see Blue Lion just continuing to be this threat, this everlasting presence on side of the point, and does go down, but the rest of the team able to clean things up. The adjustments coming in just to try and flip for that last fight of the Reapers now meeting each other, and look, you got to give it to, but Satcho just done a great job to get back, support the team, and clean things up. A little bit of a headshot at the end just to make sure Mythical Mini isn't going to be contesting again, and that's round 1 going over to the Ponies.
Wow. Pit Ponies definitely putting a strong foot in the door to start us off here, as Blue Lion, even though had to switch halfway, the Overwatch 2 changes where you can switch a character and not really worry too much about your ultimate charge anymore. Honestly, that was a smart thing to do. Pop that ultimate, because you do get a lot of value out of Ramattra's ult in comparison to what I would say Junker's not that strong. It's a zoning tool that helps with a team fight. If you're not in a team fight, pop your ult, switch to Junker Queen. But let's see if these guys can keep up that kind of momentum, as again, it is a very fast style team and a very quick execution onto this point. But who's actually going to get there first? It looks like it's going to be the Pit Ponies.
Well, again, the Hanzo coming in from the other side now. Pizza Lover grabbing that one instead, just trying to get this chip damage going away. And Blue Lion brought very low, but having this Kiriko able to just hide behind red cover, get them the health very quickly back. But that's why you bring someone like the Hanzo, that one-shot potential, to take Satcho out of the gunfight. And you can see they're still just toying for control of this high ground, despite being a man down. The commitment from the Hounds here needs to be a little bit stronger, because so far they're just allowing the ultimate charge to build up, the point not being captured. Eventually we're going to see the Pizza Lover try to move in to get a bit of progress being done, and with Blue Lion down so late in, but the Sombra jumping in and again keeping this point under contention. They have control, they've won the fight, but they can't start that point.
Wow. That was a clean retake here. Well, not even a retake. The clean take coming out from the side of Wolfhounds. And honestly, I gotta point out, this Sombra has not been able to do too much. I'm hoping that we start seeing them taking out these players, but the support is real, and Wolfhounds is fighting and just sinking their teeth in. This is apparently your favorite map, Golu, and I can see why they are decimating it. I think it's their favorite map as well.
Oh, it's for sure up there, you know, it's just nothing beats a good little bit of Shrine. You get to just sit in there and really try and fight them in. But now, with the ultimate available for the Junker Queen, there is a big opportunity. Max is going down, though. You want to wait for that Kiriko to be available again. You've got the Kitsune Rush. You've beat Todd to it. So if you pop it first, you will get that massive advantage through the fight. Yes, there is the sound barrier in the pocket of sticks, which you have to be a little bit wary of. And that's why you really want this Sombra to be able to hit the ultimate soon. But just charging on in, and with the Kitsune, the Suzu used already, you can just charge through. The beat comes out to meet it, though, and Blue Lion forced to back away. The rest of the team just being demolished by the opposing Junker Queen, who just went even deeper. And despite the opening usage of the ultimates, they've just been peeled back. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, there was nothing you could do. Neither could that Hanzo. I think you were watching when I was watching, because that Kiriko weaved in between and is managing to do some damage, but Styx is going to be putting a cross-shaped stick on them, and that's going to be now Wolfhounds taking this all the way to 78% now with no issues. So I'm hoping that they are going to be able to pick this back up, but honestly, it's a little bit crazy here on the ball. A real back and forth. I did not expect this here from Wolfhounds, considering how badly they got beat in that first half.
You've got EMP, you've got Death Blossom. Is that a beat drop coming out from Bron there? So that's not ideal to lose that one out, but with a very quick pill onto Aphemil, and Satcho just continues to walk forwards and takes a kill onto Todd as well. This is exactly what the Pit Ponies need. The progress being gained, the boop sending the Lucio back to the other side, onto the ledge, and into the abyss. They now have that point control, but 99% progress already for the Wolfhounds. The Dynamite Bundle not quite going to land through the doorway there.
Quite, but what an ultimate. That's going to drop their HPs and drop the ability they have to really clean up here. Look at Saito just going in, doing the damage with Blue Lion. These double shotgunning players are working beautifully with their Sombra, who's been that little rat behind the scenes to help these guys out. And that is going to guarantee that they are taking this before it gets to overtime. 1% before, but still, that's something that you want to be seeing here. But I'm looking at the ults. We talk about them a lot, but these three are the retakeables. These are the weapons that you want to bring to the party to really start lighting it up.
Especially on control, being able to drop Bob on the point, hold onto an advantage piece of ground, and force the team to make a decision. But coming in from behind with the Death Bottom could be massive, and it will be. Gets two, is shot down eventually by the Jungle Queen. Both ults being popped, so everyone's gone purple. No healing for the time being, means you've got to get as much damage in there as possible as you can. But the Kiriko's doing a great job to keep their respective tanks alive, and you see them just juking it out in the corner. The Sombra coming in from behind, finally able to take down both tanks, and the 1 versus 1 against the Kiriko. Lucio coming in to save with the beat drop, but just can't keep them alive. Now both of them on the point. The Dynamite Bottle not going to connect with anyone, but they've got to make sure they stay alive on this point. Can't stay invisible too long, noob. You're going to get booped off. Able to use the teleport to get back to safety. But with Bron locked inside the corridor, he couldn't hold the point for any longer. And it's going to take the 3rd point of our first map to split the difference.
Yeah, and now we have, of course, a match point right here on arguably everyone's least favorite. It's not my favorite. I just don't like the way that it's tough to get different angles outside of just getting in and being a brawl comp. If you bring a brawl to this, you're gonna have some fun. If you have a sniper, your team loses that game. So let's see what can happen. That's why we're seeing Pizza Lover switch off of the Hanzo, and I'm seeing a different kind of pick for a little bit. But no, the Torb was just a bait. It's going back to Symmetra, which I think works pretty well on this map.
Yeah, you can get those turrets deployed on the point, and just with the walls that you have, right, you force people to walk through and turn around back onto the Torbjorn. So Noob just clearly wants to keep us a little bit entertained here, as already both teams stepping up towards the point in a pretty standard fashion. Just want to see how this turret gets deployed to help out.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, wait, he switched back to Torb. Okay, that's unique, but is it going to work? Obviously, Pit Ponies, they are on this point, and they are going to try to cap it. But look at that. It's the brawl comp. It's where everyone's just up close, personal, beat 'em up. It's like we're watching a new game of Street Fighter. But looking at what we can see here from the Wolves is that they're keeping their HP high. But at the second the Kiriko drops, everybody drops with them. And this is going to be one support you have to have. The Lucio cannot heal enough, and that's going to be the first point with a team kill over to the side of the Pit Ponies. Beautiful execution there.
Yeah, right, really good job just backing up, appreciating that in this fight you need to play a little bit longer here. You got that Torbjorn, you got that second shotgun, so that is going to help you. Technically 3rd, right? Jungle Queen has the shotgun as well as the Reaper. So just able to sort of wait out some of the big plays coming in, a good Suzu to keep them alive, and then re-engage and take it back through and just run back across the enemy team. Now you're looking at the re-engage, already been able to build up the whirlwind for the Jungle Queen, and with everyone standing in the middle of the corridor, you got to wonder this is going to be a little bit dangerous. But so far, with that pick onto the Genji, the Pizza Lover having to stand back a little bit, the Wolfhounds, they want to take a little bit of a step back, and this makes sense, right? Get your full 5 members back ready again. They're just kind of playing for a little bit of chip damage here. I'd be very surprised to see anyone get down in the coming seconds, as with so many shotguns, yeah, the damage is going back and forth. They're constantly fighting. But this is actually a relatively slow phase of this match. Now the Kitsune comes in, now things go quick.
Unfortunately, you can't do it against theirs. Blue Lion is helping them out. They did drop the beat, and they are trying to drop these enemies one tick at a time, and that's going to be another one down. But oh my god, it's the Reaper who's trying their best to find the damage. But what? Kiriko barely surviving, just kidding, is gone, and that is going to be the Pit Ponies cleaning it up and absolutely taking them for a ride here. So I got to hand it. This map should go to them, but we still have 2 ultimates. We got the Death Blossom, and we got the Junker. Can they actually retake this with only about 15 seconds of boot?
Watching this Torbjorn feels like it's something out of a video game donkey video, just standing there peppering away, getting the kills, but now gonna drop the Molten Core just to try and prevent the walking through onto the point. A lot of ultimates invested, but it's all come back against them. Mythical Mini able to get a 3-piece with the Death Blossom. The rest of the team falling away. Bron doing a great job to keep everyone else off the point. Double kill for the Lucio, what a star. And now they take control pretty comfortably, right? The Pit Ponies move it. I have to say, I was a little bit nervous when that Death Blossom started going off in their backline, Zeru, but they held it together.
They did, and they held it pretty well, but that is going to be the end here. While we watch this play of the game go on, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming match here. Next, coming up here. So that's a little bit of a different kind of gameplay to be expecting from obviously a single King of the Hill style complaint. But let's jump into that. And I gotta ask you, King's Row. It's again one of the older tier maps. We haven't seen any of the newer ones, like of course any escort missions quite yet. But what are your thoughts regarding King's Row here?
I really like King's Row. I think King's Row is one of those just standard. Again, some of the oldest Overwatch maps are just the most enjoyable to play. And King's Row, you know, hailing from the UK, obviously a little bit of bias coming in there as well. Always nice to see that even a slightly modernized version of London coming to the forefront. But I don't know. I think King's Row, especially with the way that these two teams played it out last time, both leading into those Junker Queens, a bit of Ramattra coming out at the start for the Pit Ponies, but eventually it just became that double Ramattra Junker Queen mirror. I think seeing more of that coming through is definitely going to be the case. There's always the chance for some more interesting hero picks on King's Row, especially at the start with things like the Junkrat sometimes coming through, and especially that Mei. And with both of these teams wanting to play that brawl, there is an angle here where a Mei can really cut a team in half, quite literally, and just allow you to sort of put any sort of aggressive push right back in its place.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a Mei would be a really unique thing to bring to the table. Obviously, Torbjorn was meta for a little bit. Overwatch 2 has had so many meta shifts since its release, in quotes, that I'm a little concerned that, you know, anything can be brought to the table, except for Lifeweaver. I still think that guy can stay in the dirt. But with that said, honestly, I'm thinking Maze. I'm thinking Orisa recently got a buff. Orisa, one of the main shield tanks that we all remember. No shield anymore, though. So even without that shield on the attack, that Javelin's pretty strong. Lots of the fun stuff here, but let's jump into this game. Let's see what these guys are going to be insta-lock in. And it looks like Pizza Lover's the fastest to connect to the game and locks in temporarily Ashe, but I'm not sure if they're going to want to do that. This is a map where we are going to see Hanzos, Widows, even an Ashe, but I think we are going to be seeing maybe that attempt at an early pick here.
Yeah, the Ashe was the one I was wondering, not the Ashe, sorry, the Widowmaker is the one I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing come out. You know, that's the classic jump on the top of the balcony and just sort of chill out for a little bit of time. But I don't know, I think the Orisa one's fun, right? It's, again, why have a shield when you can just throw a spear in their face instead? Like, that change, it's just so much more fun. And less shields is brilliant. It's just funny. You're already seeing, though, Mythical Mini, Reaper last time, Mei up this time. May have some rules issues, but we'll get that resolved pretty swiftly. That'll take but 2 seconds to resolve. Already, though, we see the Mythical Mini, see them grabbing the Mei. That's exciting to see. The support lines staying somewhat consistent, right? The Kiriko, the Lucios. What needs to happen here for those? Do we just need to nerf them until other things are viable? Like, is it? Or we just resigned to just Kiriko just being too good? Has the damage, if you're precise, has insane healing numbers, has great utility. Like, you just have all three.
You see, the thing about constantly nerfing and buffing and nerfing and buffing is boring. Do the Dota 2 approach. And what that Dota 2 approach
everything.
Is, buff everything to the point where if everyone's OP, nobody's OP. That should be how every game is, in my opinion, because then the skill ceiling increases by a ton because you're going to have to outplay something that's a lot stronger than you with something that's very strong. So it's all about snowballing, all about how you play around it. I think that is an approach that we won't be seeing, but definitely would be really fun to watch happen. But with that in mind, we are now back in the game. Looks like the same team comp is going to be brought to the table. And I think we are seeing a Lifeweaver. I didn't expect it, but this is one map, as you put it, that has no ability to yeet someone off until third point. So this could be a perfect opportunity to showcase what. Never mind, it's Lucio. Got disappointed with that one.
Rip. Ooh, okay, but no Kiriko on the, well, still a Kiriko on the side of the Wolfhounds. No Kiriko on the side of the Pit Ponies. The colors have swapped because, well, you're starting on defense here for the side of the Wolfhounds. They want to try it out. No, it was just a sleep dart lineup to then swap onto Kiriko. Okay, never mind. I wasn't excited or anything. You know, I didn't want to see it. But now, with Mythical Mini staying as far back as they are, not able to get the best use out of that wall at the gate like you might be looking for. So interesting to see how they deploy this utility. Oh, got the little pixel bug there, and actually counter-walled by I Am Noob to give them a little bit of space, but now they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and they're on it now. AC is pretty solid for us. But look at this. From the side, Pizza Lover right next to the car is trying to get these shots, but it's the Kiriko and Blue Lion on the same character over and over again, just forcing them all the way back. These defenders are not looking like they live up to the title of defender, as this is going to be a first tick on A. And wow, now we might see it. What a triple to help him out. That's a 5-player streak. This Reaper is doing damage to everybody, and that is going to be less than, what, 60 seconds per first point? That's insane.
That's very quick, and burning the wall out as well. Brilliant wall coming out in response from Iamnu to catch Mythical Mini off. You get that massive stagger, and on a point like King's Row second, you really want to be able to play with this progress, because if you can hold the defense back inside towards the back of the third point, you can get so much free progress on this cart. You can see on the indicator at the top, only one member of the attack is actually sat on the payload. The rest getting these advanced positions, getting ready to meet the side of the Wolfhounds as they try to set themselves up for a re-engage. Diamond on the corner though, gets a little bit of that tick damage, but I'm sure the Kiriko will be able to deal with that with very little worry.
Yeah, and having only one person on the point is pretty smart, especially when you got so much extra time from that very quick take. But look at this. All that aggression just got him walled off, and this is a counter ult of the Century to try to fight these players back. But with everything they have, they unfortunately cannot hold it down. A beautiful ultimate coming out here from the player Braun. She's doing absolutely exactly what you need to do, and I'm glad that it's on Lucio and not Lifeweaver. Again, hate that character, but Blue Lion finding Pizza Lover, and it's the Kiriko who hasn't missed a headshot.
That fight ultimately just coming down to who can make the best use out of their ultimates, right? Both May Blizzards invested, both of the Kitsune Rushes, and both of the sound barriers, and no one from the side of the Pit Ponies is really dying because they do a much better job of just playing this slow, protected game where they up to support and be next to each other, and it just keeps them alive. You keep alive, you win more fights, you just get to continue to roll through your opponent, and you're seeing this slow tick damage coming through, but it doesn't really matter. They're just continuing to stay on the point and walk forwards, and now you lose the Junker Queen ult and get... This is unfair. This is broken.
Unfair, broken, and let's see if they are going to be able to break their way through it. Let's see this. Oh my god. Reaper, so clean with it, so ready to finish this off. Hopefully they are going to be able to keep this damage going, but no real guarantee. I'm reading the chat, and apparently, for like, I don't know if it's still happening, but they can't see the screen.
It's fine. We've been given the color here. The Bob on the point, that's preventing them from capturing it, and well, that's one way of dealing with it, right? You could stand and fight the Bob, or when you've got 4 minutes 20 still to play with on the last corner of King's Row, you can just back up and wait out the ultimate, and with ultimates of your own ready to be invested here, they have 4 of the 5 ready to go. Jungle Queen getting caught up by a wall, the Blizzard coming out from Mini Mythical just to try and keep the team alive, and it's doing a great job getting the freezing, but the kills are still going back either way, and Blue Lion just standing on the point, standing on the payload, watching it hurdle towards the end, takes down 3 by himself, and I mean, what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do in response to that? Look, there was a bit of an error. You didn't quite catch what happened there. Yeah. I'll give my best to describe it, okay?
Yeah, honestly,
so
that's what casters are for. We're supposed to describe the gameplay.
So I feel like
you're supposed to be able to see it too.
I feel like, right, there were 3 key sort of big fights in that, right? There was the first fight to capture the point. There was the second fight, which was sort of coming out towards the beginning, like the end of point 2, where those like all the ults went in, and then there was that last fight at the end. The first one, we see Pit Ponies running through the doorway. They loop through the hotel. They kind of use their Maywall to just like block damage, and then, I mean, we just saw them stand on the point and not die. Yeah. The Reaper was in the face. Mythical Mini, not Mythical Mini. Pizza Lover was not on the Reaper mirror. He was instead over on the Ash, which obviously, when you're in their face, isn't as much damage.
Yeah, honestly. But, you know, I heard you say something. You said, we see. They didn't see anything, man. They weren't able to see the screen for the game.
Yeah.
But what me and you saw was that it was a whole W down. Look at that. They got 4 minutes left to use when this next part goes down. But I'm just excited to see what happens. Also, looks like someone's playing Rust. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just laughing my ass
Someone's
over.
playing Rust?
Yeah, on the parsec. It just showed me that someone was playing Rust.
This is like my spatial awareness. I just didn't see that at all. The wall comes up very early, doesn't catch anyone off, so now that you don't have to worry about it, you can just full commit to the fight, jumping into the front line, kind of sidestepped off from the rest of the team, playing around the pillar, trying to get as much damage as possible onto Satcho before they're able to bounce away. The trap coming through, the mine to try and finish off the kill, but not in enough time. They're able to bounce to safety instead, just continuing to play point-blank Junkrat here. But so far, no one to fall, and as I say that, 3 from the side of the Wolfhounds immediately die, chasing the Kiriko off the spawn, trying to separate themselves as best as possible. They will safely, both Bron and Max, be able to retreat to the spawn room to rejoin Bron and Max, sorry. Sticks and Todd get back to the spawn room to join the rest of the team.
Yeah, and now they're back here to do some damage, maybe find this, but look at this. They're having to do a lot more aggression than they were able to on the defense. But now look at that, walled off. That's a Junker Queen, and that is a dethroned Junker person. Now it's just gonna be up to you, Blue Lion, to find more picks. Already having an ultimate down, and oh my god, it's not looking too good here for the side of Pit Ponies. After that first game on Nepal, I really thought that we were going to see them just absolutely take it on this one, but they're just not finding the groove quite yet.
Well, still posturing around. Styx does have the beat drop, but once again, the Jungle Queen being dropped off, and the ultimate Blizzard coming through from I Am Noob once again, cleaning through the attack from the Wolfhounds. I mean, look, we've seen both teams try and pull off the May. The defensive end from I Am Noob has been so much more impactful in isolating the key player, which is that tank, right? There's only one tank on the team. There's 2 of every other position. You break that down, you lose your entire front line. And especially as an attacking team, when you've got something like the Ashe, which wants to play with space and have long channels to pick away at your opponent uncontested, it's a lot harder to do if there's no one standing in front of you to punish the opponents walking into your face.
And they are punishing everybody now. What ultimate though? It did not work very well trying to pop that in the middle of the Kiriko ult. So fast fire rate is going to fry these guys, and that is another beautiful push. But now it's the blue team. It's what we need to be seeing here from Wolfhounds to guarantee them 1 tick, but I think this will get them the site. And now they start the actual part of King's Row that we all knew and love. It's holding the W key down, and it is, of course, pushing a cart, which I'm glad that we're actually going to see that payload start.
Well, hefty chunk of damage going to Aphmol very early on into the second point. But again, this is the issue that we saw, and the big difference between these 2 teams on the start of their attacks after capturing first. The Pit Ponies got a full wipe and had a lot of free space to move up. This time, on the defensive end, the Pit Ponies, they have been able to set up at the choke point, at the bridge. Max is getting taken out by a wonderfully placed Ice School from Pizza Lover. It's really going to help them break through this initial hold, however, as they're just trying to funnel their way through. So much progress being denied, and another Blizzard already built up by I Am Noob, forcing them off the payload, which is going to buy them enough time to try and get their reinforcements back. But instead, Styx winning out the 1 versus 1, and they get through. They just get through once again.
Wow, and they are going to get through here. They're going to see if they can find more damage, and honestly, pushing this cart 1 tick at a time. We are still halfway now to getting it into that 3rd point. And what we did see is that this round has lasted longer than the entirety of the first round. So don't worry if you weren't able to see that gameplay, because now it is going to be here for a little bit longer. And now we are seeing an ultimate available for a Kiriko on the blue and Blue Lion on red. So let's see if they can do it. Lots of colors, but let's see if they got the color to do the damage, as that is Max just getting a clean pick down, and the defense is trying to force him off. Beautiful ulti here from Blue Lion, but it gets countered by the Lucio, and this is what you need to be doing. But it's just 1 remaining, trying to get pocketed, trying to hold it down, and let's find out they cannot. And this is the side of Wolfhounds finally getting even more space, and there's nothing you can really do against this.
Yeah, the wall being deployed by Pizza Lover now on the main side, just at the end to make sure they can't fall back to safety. And again, you got to make sure that you're not getting caught up here as Pit Ponies. You can't get too over-invested in the fight. This is the correct call. They back away, they just allow themselves to grab all their members. Look, even if your opponents make it to the end of the map, you're still going to have minimum a minute. At the moment, it's already a minute more for your attack of second point. The Kitsune Rush being activated, a little bit over-aggressive, but it's still going to work out for them. They have the Death Blossom to be able to save through this fight as well. So another potential way to stall out the team. Ron has fallen in the back line. Mythical Mini able to land the shots required there towards the end. But again, another situation in which the Wolfhounds are just forced to disengage. They're forced to play out more time.
Yeah, and that's going to be a clean ultimate here to now put themselves behind it. But the Mei ult, it buys so much space. But where is this Reaper's ult going? It ain't hitting anybody. And now we're seeing the defense finally take control of the point, but they're taking a lot of damage from behind. But again, it's the aggression from players like Maxus and Braun to really help out Blue Lion when they are up close personal and beating the ever-loving crap out of some players. But now, of course, 3 ultimates remaining for the side here. Can they actually do it? Wolfhounds, you have to try to get these picks down, as I think the Pit Ponies have really locked themselves down now.
You need a big Blizzard coming in or some other form of engage to make this work, though, and that is not the way to start it. The Blizzard not connecting with any members. Yeah, it's temporarily split the team, but the Pit Ponies are just going to come back in as soon as it's over and clean up the majority of this fight. The Bob not in a position to exert as much damage, as much pressure onto the Pit Ponies, and eventually forcing a couple members back after the loss of Blue Lion, but still contesting around the corner using this cover, and the Mei goes down. You're left with your 2 supports alive. You just have to run. And once again, the Pit Ponies are finding ways to steal lifelines in these fights and eventually just tiring down the Wolfhounds in this drawn-out game of attrition. They need to find a way for the side of Wolfhounds to invest utility meaningfully to open up a pick.
And Pit Ponies, they're opening this up, and they're hopefully getting it. But Pizza Lover, oh my God, Mei, that's an amazing way to play. And now they might be able to find another with an air shot, and just 1 remaining. It's a Reaper, but Reaper managed to take out the tank, so they don't have that for the future push here. And I know that Braun, with that speed, is going to be able to contest this a little bit longer here. But lots of damage is being dealt. Blue Lion seemingly alone on the point, trying to now scare him off. And because they lost not only their Mei, but their tank, they have to back it up now.
And that was a much better opening engagement for that fight, right? Using the Kitsune Rush paired with the wall to isolate Blue Lion to get that advantage. Somehow still not able to quite capitalize on it. The Blizzard coming through to try and buy as much time as possible. With 16 seconds left until overtime hits. A massive investment by the Jungle Queen to try and take down as many members as possible and catching the Mei. That prevents so much time falling. Ron does bring in the beat drop to try and keep it alive, but with how isolated Satcho is, he's able to be focused down by the Wolfhounds, who now have everything going in their favor. The Kitsune, the Kiriko jump in to try and save themselves, keep alive, and the Tracer getting back to point as well to keep this overtime rolling, but with 5 men strong. Look, the Wolfhounds should be able to push this through. I say that as a Death Blossom is just allowed to walk up to the point, Edu. Somehow, against the odds, they have come in 1 by 1 until every member of the Wolfhounds has died. I was about to write it off. I literally wrote it off.
That's crazy. I mean, the funny thing is, if you're gonna trickle in, get a bucket. But no one was able to pick it up and actually stop the trickle from just causing a monsoon there. So amazing gameplay. But look at this play of the game. I am noob. As someone pointed out, a masterclass in Mei. But let's see if they're gonna be able to just keep this kind of momentum going, as I believe they just need 1 more to take it, because it is, of course, a best of 3. And now, what's the next map that we got going on? Let me double check before we jump in here. Never mind, Parsec decided to steal my my mouse. So next map is going to be, I believe, an escort mission on Circuit Royale. So that's going to be a little unique to see here, going from that to this. So I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, Circuit Royale is an interesting one. I think all the escort maps play pretty differently to each other. Circuit Royale being the notable map where you see the tank lineup differ, in that Sigma becomes a very kind of possible option. With how long some of these corridors are, you're seeing things like Hanzo, Widowmakers, Ashes really start to emerge, and I wouldn't be surprised. We've seen both on the side of the Wolfhounds, Pizza Lover grabbing the Hanzo. We've also seen Mythical Mini on that Ash. This is a very possible option for both of those to come in from the side of the Wolfhounds. And look, they're the team that through this game, I think, has been slightly worse at playing that very close brawl-style game. This is a map that is really going to lean into those strengths of picking off individual members with that long fire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that a map like this, it's a push map, it's an escort map, really, but I think that escort is just a fancier version of push. But with that being said, snipers definitely a big thing here. Though, the ability to put down a wall to protect your team from those snipers can be pretty versatile, can be pretty vital. Yep. So that's what I'm hoping we still see, because Pizza Lover knows how to snipe, but I am noob. I don't believe that, because this guy is a May god and will keep that going. So hopefully they will keep it up and try to win this. But as you pointed out, not so versatile is May. Hopefully we can see something new coming out here. I saw Symmetra and Torbjorn a lot in that first game on Nepal. So I'm thinking Torbjorn and Symmetra might be one of the best picks here, considering this is that escort map, and Symmetra on that first point on defense anyways is very powerful.
I can't remember which series it was last season, but we did see a Circuit Royale match where a team failed to leave the spawn doors.
Yeah. That was so rough. Why'd you have to remind me of that?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have to bring that back up. For those of you not here with us, don't try and find it. It was something. It was unfortunate. I didn't think it was possible. Yep, Symmetra on the first point, teleporting above the doorway, can be pretty scary. I don't think that's going to be the defensive setup coming here for either of these teams. But I am new putting a Torb turret up there wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. You've already seen that little lock-in of the May before they actually got sent back to the actual Assemble Hero screen. So, starting on the attack, is it going to happen? Those icicles, 150 headshot damage, no drop-off. Pretty juicy if you can land them over those longer distances. The Widowmaker stands still too long. It's basically free real estate.
Oh, absolutely. But if your Widow standing still, they deserve to get shot. I think that is something we learned in the trailer for Overwatch back in the day. But let's look at what they actually lock in here. Mythical Mini instead. Okay, so double sniper. You got Ash, you got Hanzo, and you got a Zen. I would argue that Zen is a sniper, because the way that, very little fall off, very little range. I mean, it's just straight up damage. And of course, Discord plus a headshot from Ash instantly kills a lot of the squishies that you have here. And I am seeing, though, defense with Hex on Symmetra. So this could keep him in the doors, as we saw before, but I'm not sure if that's going to actually, on attack. Wait a second. Hex on attack with it. An attacking Symmetra against all snipers is a different. My brain was like, wow, that could be good. And then I realized, wait a second, this is the wrong side.
Yeah, but the teleport a Reinhardt into your face, that's how you bypass sniper fire. Just gonna wait to see how this gets deployed. They are straight in there. The rock coming in immediately from Aphmal, doing a great job to dissuade them from pushing further forwards. The wall just isolating Mythical Mini, and now Ryan just in the back line. The Discord orb, though, like you mentioned it before, so they have to really be careful of doing so much work to pin down Blue Lion, who has, through the joint efforts of an Anna and Kiriko, somehow survived, but Bron will fall, and that's gonna be the sign for the attack, just to take a step away, get a little bit of breathing room, and recompose themselves.
Yeah, and they're going to need to compose themselves. You said that, that was the best way to get past a sniper, maybe a Symmetra to teleport, but no, that Symmetra set up a silver platter and handed their team to the enemies there. But look at Hex whiffing it twice to jump over, and there's nobody there. So good attempt to jump it, but honestly, I'm loving when we see players just make human mistakes, because we got to remember that they are human, unless you are I Am Noob. This person
unless you are I Am Noob. I Am Noob is in fact not human. He is a cyborg. Oh, Sombra. I got jump scared then, but able to land the sleep, followed by the hack, followed by an anti onto the Sigma. Should be a big opportunity for them, and you can see Blue Lion trying to take full advantage of that. The hack coming through onto Styx as well. Finished off by Bron, who moved on to the counterpart Omnic. Just continuing to walk forwards now, doing a great job to create as much space as possible, and spots Todd just crouching away behind the barricade and just ignoring any pressure behind, just steamrolling upwards, and Blue Lion just landing these bouncing balls all over the place.
Wow. And they are taking it one step at a time, but oh my god, Blue Lion.
Blue Lion, he's on a one-man mission.
Yeah, I mean, I think they do have, for Blue Lion here, they have Maxis going behind them and pocketing them. And if you have an Ana, if you try to get aggressive against this person, you'll just get slept and taken down very quick. So let's see if it is going to be enough, but already they got the first point. They managed to pick up the paces after that little bit of a misplay, but I can definitely tell Symmetra was not good on attack. Switching to Sojourn, a very common play, but Hex just taking more and more damage. But they're still pushing this cart right around the corner. It isn't been stopped quite yet.
Ooh, Blue Lion does go down though, and that's going to be the opportunities for the Wolfhounds to pounce into the back line. Bron trying to do her best to stay alive, but eventually going to get taken out by the point-blank arrow. So, a good bit of progress, a really strong bit of momentum off of that initial opening fight with just the immense amount of utility and denial that was put onto Aphmau, but it didn't last forever. Eventually that defense was able to rebuild. The question is, with the EMP, what are you able to pull off there? As you can see, Imnoob is looking for this flank. Styx goes down. This is the perfect opportunity to hack into the backline to take down Todd on that Baptiste as well. So you're cutting the legs underneath the tank, and Aphmau just nowhere to go, just being rolled over by Blue Lion, who's being healed up to perfection. This just seems a little bit unfair.
It did seem unfair, but I will point out, Blue Lion had an amazing ultimate. They got 3 of the defenders. And then Avamil decided to yeet his butt all the way off. And that was, I think, bought a lot of time, but still in the end it did lose. But what an ulti. Definitely good, but the Styx is going to be able to just hit that headshot and keep it going. Now popping the ultimate. They are desperate to not give up this point quite yet. But a counter ult from Braun, and it's just going to be one after another. And wait a second, that is a nanoed Sigma. And that should do the damage, but looks like they are just going to have to bail, and they managed to do it. Wolfhounds are still in this game right here.
Oh, Rock hits a tree. Paper always wins, so makes sense. Keeping canonical there, but just so far stalling out a lot of time here. The healing coming in, I was afraid Mythical Mini might be going down, but eventually does kill the Sigma. A lot of time bought, but now in a really isolated position. If they're able to capitalize on it, the Shield doing a great job to escort the Hanzo out of the danger, get them back to the rest of the squad, and now repositioning on the high ground. Imnoob still on this invis mission, still looking to try and get some sort of mayhem going behind, and is able to get the pick onto Styx.
Yeah, taking out the Zen. Obviously, the Zen doesn't have the team healing, but it's the damage that they're reducing from their team getting taken. That's huge, but talk about a huge piece of util. That Baptiste just saved so many, but unfortunately, it's a temporary fix. It's a little bit of a duct tape on a car bumper, as these guys are still getting shredded and ready to keep this going. But I think that now Pit Ponies are going to be able to secure this point here, and that is not going to be looking too clean, but oh my god. Hex not able to do enough damage. They don't really care though. They're just getting these guys in a grouped up position, and Blue Lion is shredding them with Sigma.
On the high ground with the Tracer, just sending away a couple pepper shots. You've also got this Sombra, so good opportunities for the Pit Ponies to look for these individual picks, and as if I've summoned it into existence, Imnoob once again getting the better of Styx, so they really need to find a way to start healing 4 Styx, because it's Zenyatta just isn't getting the true damage or value in these fights, because they're dead before they really start to begin. The Transcendence now built up, and you also have the Immortality field on Todd, which can be deployed to try and keep them alive. There are tools here, there are options for them to play around. I just want to see them start making the best use out of them. Another interruption of the ult coming through. Blue Lion not able to get the best effect of it, and the Transcendence coming in before any members of the defense die to try and buy them that time to play in that pocket, and a great job to get them through this fight.
Wow, and that is going to be a team kill. It was a little scuffed, as you pointed out. Everything was kind of going up, down, and sideways until finally it just was enough chip damage to take one after another, and defense does win it out on top. But I gotta ask you, if gold medals were still a thing, who do you think would have the most damage? I'm arguing Blue Lion here on Sigma would easily be on top for just making sure that they are the nuke on the team.
I don't even think it would be close. It's just been a monster performance here. And again, trying to just 1v1 sticks permanently. The hack coming through, still able to maintain their life this time around, which is a great benefit. As you can see, their health bar just yo-yoing up and down, with IamNoob constantly looking for the kill. Are they going to be able to find it here? Nope, has to teleport away. This time Hex is the player to step forward to protect them. Just still jostling for this corner and using natural cover to extend the lifeline of these shields.
And that is also going to help extend lifeline here. Another Transcendence coming out from, this time, Braun. Lots of them, but what an ulti! That's going to drop all of them down, and I believe that is the opening they needed to take it. Pizza Lover managing to get one. Still, no one on defense has gone down except for Bob, but he doesn't count. There goes Braun, and oh my god, it is not looking too good. That was the perfect combo to get the final tick down, and it just didn't line up for them.
Yep, you invest the Transcendence, the Nano Boost, the EMP, the Graviton, like, that's really hard to fight through. 16 seconds is going to be a last second push here for the Pit Ponies if they want to see to the end of Circuit Royale. And already this Hanzo lining up with the ultimate, but a great hack from the Sombra behind. A lot of damage taken, has to drop away, and just waiting to see if anyone is able to touch the point. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be close enough, as I say that, making that last second lunge, but instantly met in the face with the rock. Bouncing balls from Aphmau, just coming in to make sure there's no way for you to get any more progress towards the end. Love the drop of the London Spitfire icon on the bottom of the ground there. And that'll be the end of Circuit Royale.
Lots of respect for the people for London today. We went to King's Row, we got the sprays on the ground, but let's see if we are going to see someone really channel their inner Jack the Ripper, maybe pick up a Reaper and do some damage to really just finish this game off. But obviously the Wolfhounds are still in it. This is a first to three. Obviously they did not win the last two, but they can if they can shut down the Pit Ponies with a desperate and beautiful attack. Their defense bringing it all the way to overtime on point 3. But Circuit Royale is one of those points where it's either you get it to point 3 or you don't get it at all. So this could be a very different round than what we just expected.
Ready for battle.
I always felt like Jack the Ripper would be more of a Sombra main rather than a Reaper main. You know, you got the invis, the lurking around. Did the tour of that one, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, true.
The London Dungeons tour, can recommend it. Not sponsored or anything, just pretty cool.
You see, my British pop culture references are very limited, so.
No, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, Reaper fits the aesthetic, but I feel like the gameplay of Sombra's more in line. Although you do get
like if we know like the lore, I feel like he would be a support player that was like masochistic. Like, you know,
so
seems...
every Ana player, just like,
yeah.
I was, the lore of like every Ana main is, I played Widowmaker, but no one, my tanks didn't live long enough.
Exactly.
So I became a healer.
Absolutely, because I mean, if you remember what Jack the Ripper decided to rip out of people, I feel like he'd be more of a doctor kind of, so that would lean towards support, you know. But talking about leaning towards support, Mythical Meanie needing to lean a one shot into the heads of a support to really build this space. If you're gonna pick up that sniper, I better start seeing you snipe. And now, look at this. Aphmau taking a lot of space here, and that's the pick we needed to see. A clean headshot down, Diff and IamNoob, and now it's another one down, both DPS away, and now it's just going to be some tanks and supports to try to run away, and this is Mythical Mini sniping them out.
Yeah, they tried to play this long-range game, and it really hasn't worked out for them, and this is what we talked about before the map opened, right? That's a really strong opportunity for the Wolfhounds to take the advantage. Now still applying a little bit of pressure on the sideline here. Aphmau is going to back away towards the point just to ensure that they get it over the first checkpoint. You can see Blue Lion stepping up to try and prevent that, but I feel like that might have been a mistake, especially with Bron falling so shortly afterwards. The amount of space that you can see already, the Wolfhounds just perfectly walking into. They are very happy to take it away. This could be really damaging for the opportunity of Pit Ponies to prevent any sort of comeback here, especially with Hex getting caught off as late as they do.
Wow.
The setup You have to fight out of your own choke point.
Yeah, you really do. You're going to have to try your best if you want to take this cake, but looking at how these guys have been able to just build up ultimates, they're saving them for team coordination, and that's what we're seeing from Apamel. We are now 1 away, maybe 1 second away here from Baptiste, but that's just going to help them shred through this corner if they can pop it in time. But Apamel taking so much damage, but just absorbing it right back. And here's the Baptiste ult, and they are going to try to use it to get their best amount of damage, but it's a little bit further back than they'd like, and a counter Baptiste is going to force them out, and that's a lot of damage. But oh my, what are you going to be able to do here with just DPS on the point?
Well, you're going to be able to get punched in the face a couple times by a Sigma, and Bron just making her presence known, jumps over the top of the tent, pretty quickly shot down as well. And now we're just waiting for a little bit longer for the respawns to come through from the side of the Pit Ponies. And again, brilliant positioning from the Wolfhounds, right? They win a fight, they get a lot of last-minute picks, and they use that advantage. They drive themselves further forward. They're looking down the last tunnel already and pinning back the Pit Ponies so that when the cart catches up to their offensive position, they will be able to just drive it home round the last stretch. And with Pizza Lover getting that pick onto Hex, it really opens the window for them to start to walk on down. You've still got the ultimate coming in for the Hanzo. If he wants to chuck the dragons down in the corridor, just catch players off while they're isolated.
Yeah, and catching them off, but you know, this is the same position that we saw these guys in on the other side for the Pit Ponies, but can they bring the same level of defense the Wolves really brought? But looks like they're not going to be able to, as now it's in the corridor and they're down some players. So unless they can get a tank on there or an ultimate to stop it, they will be able to buy some more time. But Pizza Lover is here for the damage. Everyone's going down, and we got about 1 second GG here. But no, they touch it. 0.1 meters away. Stay on it. And he slides off. That is going to be the round. Wolfhounds still in it, and now a potential comeback here.
Reverse sweep on the cards, perhaps? I mean, hey, you never know. Mythical Mini, lovely little play of the game. It's Hanzo, doesn't really count. Oh, that's cute. I haven't seen them. That's pretty sweet, actually. You know what? I take it back. It counts. It counts. Just for that. I'll allow it.
Well, as long as it's not an ultimate, then it counts. Is how I view it.
It depends on how big the logs are, I guess, right? Sometimes you're shooting tree trunks, you're not shooting arrows, and that thing is not fair. Not fun to play against, especially when you add ping in. It's a whole thing. But generally, really liking seeing the hero diversity we're seeing, especially on the DPS side of things, right? There's this classic sort of joke that like, oh, Overwatch has 5 playable characters at a time, and you just mash the 5 into each other. Like, we're seeing both of these teams have strengths and differences in different positions, and especially with map choice now, right? You're looking at, okay, potential reverse sweep on the cards, with Circuit Royale going in favor of the Wolfhounds, but the way in which they wanted to play, and they played out their last Circuit Royale, just glowed so well for them. When they're given the range to set up sniper positions, when they get these picks and can start snowballing leads into the next point, they looked so strong. That was the best push we've seen from Circuit Royale. It was better than the push on King's Row as well, for my money, right? Just with how well they were setting themselves up at the end. And look, I don't want to take anything away here, but if they can find a way to continue to set up these aggressive positions with snipers or with other heroes that give them pick potential, there's a very good chance for that reverse sweep to come through. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that that reverse sweep does happen soon. Obviously, moving into the next map, a very similar game mode to Circuit Royale. Escorts is going to be, I believe, Coliseo's push here. So I don't know. I think Coliseo, everyone hates this map. I haven't found someone who enjoys playing on it, especially because you have 10 minutes to put a Omnic across a map. Is that fun? No. I'm going to be 100%. It's not. Don't agree.
I think the hardest thing with push is breaking an initial lead. And from everything we've seen so far, I think if you're asking which team is going to stand on an objective and stand next to it for longer, it's hard to not back the ponies in this race.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the team that are the superior May Reaper. They've brought out the Symmetra. They've brought out a little bit of Torbjorn as well. I mean, we did see the Junkrat on the other side of things, which is always a fun one on something like Push, where you know there's going to be at least a couple members stacking up when you want to get those 3 members standing on the point. But it's actually going to be New Queen Street that we go to instead. Last second little switcheroo there, just keeping us on our toes. Again, I still think this suffers from the push issue, which is that it's very quick to reinforce defensive positions when you have a big lead, and the fact that you have to sort of deconstruct your opponent's lead and then build one for yourself definitely makes life a little bit harder. What if we had 2 robots?
If we had 2 robots, and then you have to meet them in the middle, and then you have to push them together, and then you have to make sure that one wins by healing it, that'd be a much funner game mode, and you could play like Rock'em Sock'em Robots in the middle of the map. Way more fun.
Forget push. When you're standing near your robot, it punches at a faster rate of punching.
Yeah, exactly.
You can heal it, you can buff it, you can nano boost your robot to give it an advantage in the 1v1. Look, that's the game mode right there. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, and if you guys want a little bit of a bracket update here, in the back line, we just saw the Robins beat the Goats in a 3-0 sweep. So if you're a fan of the Robins, then you're going to be very happy that they robbed Goats of any chance of moving on. But let's keep it going, as of course we are now seeing a lot of people in the back alley. They're going around this, and let's see, can they find these picks?
Todd going very low early on, but again, this kind of situation that we've seen in a lot of these opening fights is that you're going to see a very slow deterioration until someone dies. Max has been the first one to go down. Mythical Mini and Afmal both falling from the side of the wall found, so which is going to give that fight advantage over to the Pit Ponies. Starting to get a little bit of progress on that robot, but Pizza Lover caught up against the wall is eventually going to lead to the Pit Ponies having the first go at cracking on with the robot. And again, just able to kind of stand around while they wait for the rest of the team to come back. Lost a couple members at the start. But again, just a better job of outlasting their opponent, of focusing down Afmal most importantly, which frees up so much space for Blue Lion to go and do Blue Lion things in the back line.
Yeah, and let's see if they are going to be able to do that damage to the back line. They are going to take out Blue Lion. They're looking for some more damage going, and this is hopefully going to slow this team down. But again, Pit Ponies, when they get knocked down, they still stay up, and they're ready for some more beautiful boops. I love Lucio. Honestly, the fact that Lucio is the meta support for Overwatch 2 makes me happy. You know, gotta represent. But what is this damage? Pizza Lover. Loving just picking up the deeps here. But they're finally back with their support, and they have an ultimate to try to spook them off, and that is going to be countered by a wonderful Lucio ultimate to try to force these players back, hit them with damage, and this congestion has worked so well for the defense.
Yeah, initially really great job from, I mean, still a bit of contention coming in here from Ron, just not dying, getting the Suzu to stay alive as well, but eventually that robot is going to start moving back the other way. I was going to say, great job initially by Bron to just keep the Genji off the backline, right? You're looking at a position where you've lost Blue Lion as your tank, you're waiting for them to get back to rejoin you, and between the support lineup of the Pit Ponies, just doing an amazing job of just fending off and keeping alive, and that's why we've seen such little progress come through, despite the fact they had the advantage for so long, the Kitsune Rush being used, but again, no one going down from the side of Pit Ponies, a little bit of damage onto Blue Lion as well as a temporary purple, but the Suzu immediately removing that. So despite investing ultimates over in the fight, they've kind of come out on the worst end of things. The Kitsune was invested by Maxis themselves, but you could just see them forcing and walking up into the faces, and there's nothing they can do. Eventually, the Death Blossom coming through. They do get the pick onto Afmal. They lose both of their supports in the meantime, so this is a vulnerable state for the Pit Ponies to be in.
Pit Ponies definitely not happy about the position that they got themselves in here, but they might be able to pick up the pace, maybe do some damage if they can, but no, it's a backing it up. But obviously, they still have the lead here, time-wise.
And no one's on the cart.
And yeah,
they've
so
all forgotten the robot. They have forgotten the objective.
I mean, I would too. The guy kind of looks mean. I wouldn't want to mess with him. Yeah. Also, why is he pushing the barricade? Why do we need the barricade? Why not just put the barricade up where you go? Am I crazy? I think you're crazy for that.
And they're all dead.
Wow. Okay.
They did what you need to do. They won 2 fights in a row to get that momentum back. They then forgot that they had to stand on the objective. And with how quick it is to get back, you see the Pit Ponies re-grab that lead, and looking at the ultimates building up, they've got the sound barrier, both teams do, but they've also got this EMP, and especially if they can get it going, after Todd invests the sound barrier, you instantly remove the shield, you deny access to abilities for a couple seconds. There's big potential here, and that's coming in immediately when they're going to try and go for the blade, to try and take down the Kiriko. Perfect timing to keep the backline alive. Great teamwork, and now you're just seeing Sato just, again, walking forwards. Pair that with Blue Lion on the Junker Queen, swinging away with the axe. They are cleaving through.
Yeah, and I gotta give a shout out to our wonderful observer, Little Joe. They've been doing a clean job here to make sure that we get the cleanest aerials. But talk about clean. It's gonna be a knife ready to slice and dice, but no, get hacked and get back, as that is going to be another push up here. But look, Aphmau using an ultimate to try to push themselves up, might be able to get one. And it's somehow still standing. Blue Lion will not go down, and Aphmau here still trying their best, but is now going to get countered with a clean headshot from Maxis, and this is now a full push to get this cart finished off. And I think the Pit Ponies are going to be taking this game here, because remember, there's only 1 round of push.
Gonna be a little bit biased here, right? As a support player, as an enjoyer of all things utility, Ron and Maxis, what a duo! What a team! The amount of times, this map alone, let alone through the whole series, that situations where the Pit Pony should really be punished for, have just gotten away with. They have met utility so perfectly. In that last fight, yeah, they got the hacking from Noob as well, which is just, you know, add just a little cherry on top. But the sound barrier coming through, the Suzu's being used at perfect timing to maximum effect. That enables these DPS and tank players to feel so confident to go for these aggressive plays. Blue Lion can step up, can be this devastating presence, because he knows he's going to have the backlines covering. And look at that, he hits 1 HP like 5 times in the fight, doesn't die, walks forward. Ron claims herself a double kill with the boot, and they are rolling on towards victory.
Oh my, that aggression from the Reaper. Right in front of Mini, TP's in and kills your support, and Mini could do nothing to stop it. That is disappointing. If you're the Lucio and you watch a Reaper TP right in front of you and shoot you in the head, and your Ashe just stares at it. But talk about everything here. It's going to be a huge ultimate from these players to really just seal the deal. Pit Ponies is ready to go into the stables and call it quits for the day, as they are rocking it in and cleaning this up. They're gonna definitely get some sugar cubes after this. But talking about these hounds, honestly, they're getting hounded on, and I think this is going to be the final stretch with very little chance, unless Pizza Lover can manage to stay alive with May, but with no more ice cube to stay in, and probably death in the next few seconds here. But no, Bob saves the time with an ultimate. This could be the final stretch, but they have to push it all the way back to the other side of the map.
That's going to be a little bit of breathing room, but with how many players are just sort of looping around the backside, especially looking at this Reaper, if they can cut through the Junker Queen, the Kiriko doing a great job with the Suzu at the end to make sure no one's going down. The slow trickle, not quite going to be enough. Noob does go down, but immediately you see Todd get shot in the face with a kunai. Sticks, 1 versus 1 for the victory to stay alive. Dies. Is there enough time? They get back on the point again. The Mythical Mini doing a wonderful job to just try and hold on for dear life. There is still 2 minutes here, Edu, on the clock.
Yeah.
Look, never write anyone out. Never close the book before the final chapter. Can they pull off an insane comeback here with how much progress they have to get? 7 meters to 123, and it all starts here. First, Blue Lion gonna have to back away. The wall being used to try and separate him from the team, but it doesn't matter. Great Suzu to keep Aphmau alive, but Pizza Lover being forced to back away, getting very low, no ability to keep themselves alive, and with the Reaper just chunking away at your backline, you're gonna start to crumble. Mythical Mini keeping this point moving though, which ultimately is gonna buy much more desperately needed team for the respawns of the rest of the team to come through before they set up for yet again another hold. And this is the thing. If they can clean up the side of Pit Ponies quickly, if they can get this robot moving away from their spawn, they can prevent the full cap. but they still need to find a way to win, and with a Death Blossom EMP combination, losing both your supports, and Peter Lover, and Afamel, that's probably game.
Well, we got the well, we don't have the Tracer, so yeah, this could be the end right here. I mean, it's gonna be...
They're already out the gates! What is the respawn time on that?
It's the power of Lucio. But May, you're the last one standing. You got a Tracer, and you had a Tracer.
Oh,
the
still Suzu!
Oh, wow. Okay, I think that's the end. Pit Ponies takes the entire best of 5 here. They're first to 3. They managed to win it on Nepal. They managed to win it on King's Row, and now they've taken it here and also taken another play of the game. Blue Lion getting 2 today.
What can I say? Tank's just an OP roll. Please nerf. In all seriousness, no. Just really strong Jug Queen playing here. And again, grabbing that double lift with the dagger to drag them into point blank range. When you can see they're clearly trying to set up, just have one person on the payload, keep them pocketed, keep them supported. Fantastic work from the Pit Ponies that game. And I mean, look, I'm going to say it again. The support line is crazy.
Yeah, this has been some absolutely crazy gameplay here from Pit Ponies. We talked about them last time. They actually, got taken down by another team before they were able to make it all the way to the finals. But so far, if they play like this and continue to play against teams at the same caliber of the Wolfhounds, then they are very keen to winning it. But of course, we don't know how the other teams are playing. We saw how Wolfhounds weren't able to dig up the gold, but hopefully we can see what is going to happen moving forward here. Now, we've seen a lot of the players. We've seen the artists. We've seen the goats. The goats now taken down. We've seen the Robins. So let's see how they're actually going to be able to compete, because obviously it's not the same team compositions or team rosters, and it's also not the same meta. So this is going to be very different, in my opinion, than what we saw last season.
Yeah, and it's also exciting because we've got a couple new teams, right? The Robins, they're a team that didn't partake in last season. Same for the Wolfhounds. So a couple new faces coming through. Always a little bit more exciting. You get those more teams as well, and it opens up opportunities. Like the Wolfhounds, sure, okay, they go down 3-1 here, but they had some great moments in here, and especially when you look at maps, they looked very comfortable on that Circuit Royale. Still beautiful, lovely stuff from them. So I'm seeing the glimmer of hope here, and it's also just way more interesting if we have teams that are willing to, that have the unique strengths and are willing to then play into those. And so if we get more opportunities for these Hanzos, for these Ashes, for the occasional Widowmaker to come through, that's where Wolfhounds are going to see a lot of success. And it would not surprise me if we see teams just shying away from Circuit Royale, even if they like it. It's like, oh, but we're going to Wolfhounds. Like, you know what? Mate, let's allow it. Let's allow it. Let's give them that. We won't challenge them here.
And let's see if we are going to see if they are giving up any more space the further we get down in this bracket. But we're going to have to wait and see who is going to be on next. Well, I actually just got an emergency thing. It's Swans versus Robins. We got some aviation battling it. So let's see what can happen here, as I believe we are going to cut to a quick break real quick and make sure that we get these teams ready, the map picks ready. So stick around, everybody. The game has just begun.
Hey, what's your name, girl? I think you might have been good fun. What's your name, girl? I wasn't close to your number one. Hey, what's your name, girl? Couldn't remember what I did see. What's your name, girl? I guess you weren't the one for me. Hey, what's your name, girl? What's your name, girl? to forget about right now. And when I wake up every morning beside you, well, I forget about the past anyhow. I remember all those girls, I remember all I estranged. Commitment wasn't a strong point, but baby, I swear I've changed. Well, I wanna show you that I'm here forever. I've got no intention of leaving, but this time I'm sticking around. I got something to believe in. I ain't running away no more. Well, you're under my skin, and this time I'm sticking around. I got something to believe in. I wanna show you that I'm here forever. I got no intention of leaving, but this time I'm sticking around. I got something to believe in. I ain't running away no more, because you're under my skin. This time I'm sticking around. I got something to believe in. Hey bartender, slide over a shot. Tequila, rum or whiskey, whatever you got. Hey pretty lady, where you going so fast? You better understand this night's gonna last. Tell you what, we got a party tonight. Oh, Bill's on piano, John's ready to fight. But if this night starts to go downhill, I'll take up my slug, I ain't afraid to kill. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere soon. Chatting up girls, the saloon door swings. Rifles on their back, strutting in like kings. Mills and Co, the wildest of the west, till Lil comes to do what he does best. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around, we're going nowhere soon. the scars on his face, a gun in his hand. Well, girls, you best believe this guy's a one-man band. It's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns, and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around. We're going nowhere 'cause it's midnight at the saloon. There's liquor, guns, and girls who bark at the moon. I said it's midnight at the saloon. You better stick around. We're going nowhere soon. Quiet night at a random place. There's a human fish behind the bar. Nothing to do, ain't nothing to see. I just want some action for no fee. I see a random beautiful face. I fell in love from afar, just like a scene from a Shakespeare play. But I had no idea what to say. And I said, hey, what's your name, girl? 'Cause you seem like the best of fun. What's your name, girl? Sure, I wasn't your number one. Hey, what's your name, girl? Couldn't believe what I could see. What's your name, girl? I wanted you all for me. Couldn't believe what I could see. So I offered her a drink for free. But what do you know, my luck was in. I got ready for a night of sin. We drank another shot or three. Played one for you, two for me. I got so drunk from the bastard game that I completely forgot her name. And I said, hey, what's your name, girl? 'Cause you seem like the best of fun. What's your name, girl? Sure, I wasn't your number one. Hey, what's your 12 hours later, sun wakes me up. I roll over to see an empty cup, and all that's left is a hasty note.
And welcome back here to the Welsh Esports Not a League. Can't get mad at me, Blizzard. Just kidding. Welcome back to Well, and we have some well-placed games for us today with a lot of fun stuff for us to... I see you laughing over there. Anyways, of course, we have some new teams for us. It's the Swans versus the Robins. We got some aviation battles going on. We got some aerial fun. But, of course, it is going to be on some control, hybrid, escort, push maps. And it should be Ilios, well, to start us off with here. So I, of course, am Edu, joined by the wonderful Golu Molu. Molu, what are you thinking about for the first maps here?
Oh, about Overwatch. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm excited. Look, call me old school, Ilios. It's near and dear to my heart. This is going to be a recurring theme whenever we see one of the OG maps, and we'll see some new map. It'll be like Blizzard World, and I'll be like, yeah, it's a fine map. It's okay. I guess it's playable. But Ilios are another banger, and we're treated off the bat immediately to the old temple. And I mean, look, every stage of Ilios is just very fun to watch. You see a couple different heroes that get their sort of time in the spotlight, and this is one of them where I'm looking things like the Widowmakers, like the Hanzos, maybe some Ashes to hit that nice little middle ground between like a McCree and a Widowmaker, if we're feeling it. Orpheus already announcing that Lucio has been locked in, and we've had the summons for a 1v1 Lucio duel already off the bat. What a way to start a series.
Honestly, what a way. But let's see if this is going to be the way that they win it with, of course, a pretty fun team comp. We've seen a lot today. It's Junker Queen, but no, I'm seeing a Monkey, which is going to be an issue for Ace here. You know, Monkey against Genji. Not what you want to be seeing, but of course, Winton is one of the best tanks in the game currently, especially on this map where you do have the ability to jump back up if you get booped. So lots of fun stuff.
Well, out of the gate, we're seeing, the double monkeys. Oh, not double monkeys, sorry, just a single. We've also got the Moira, so a little bit diversity. I don't know. This could be interesting. There's False coming in back again, and we saw the Swans team pretty similar. A couple changes through them from last season, but you know, obviously with Gwyn immediately walking up into the face of the opponent. Monkey looking for a jump here, but not able to find anything. Plays for days. Still just kind of having to do a decent bit of work to force Gwen off of their own teammates here. And, well, so far with the point unlocking, no one having that opening pick to take the step forwards.
Yeah, and hopefully we are going to see what these guys do now that they are on the point. Orpheus cleaning it up. This is the first time we've seen this team here. And if guys... Oh, wait, you guys can see it. I forget. You guys have fancy overlays. We just get their player names. But, of course, looking at these guys now, it's going to be a wonderful take of that first point for us to see how these guys are consistently hitting this damage and hopefully being able to keep this going. But I'm looking forward to how Gwyn, especially considering how active they were in the Twitch chat, is going to be able to play, because they were spamming Gwynable beforehand.
I love that. You gotta back yourself in these sorts of situations, and already we heard a Lucio 1v1 on the cards maybe. We're already seeing the Tracers start to duke it out with each other as both teams sort of entering in towards this dive composition. Ace immediately getting that opening pick for the Swans though. Still this commitment to a fight potentially. They're waiting in the side room, but this just gives the opportunity for Ace to look for another flank around option, eating a hefty chunk of damage. Plays with Ace, now going purple with a massive ultimate coming out from Gwyn. It truly is winnable, and just still trying to jostle in the room. The Dragonblade coming off, hunting down the Lucio, looking for their next target. The Moira falls. Tracer in the back line's not going to be on the next one to go down, but another Genji as well, and Ace living up to the name here, just cutting away at the Robins.
Wow. Honestly, I'm kind of concerned. The fact of the matter is that these guys had a Winston, and if they had kept it, Ace would not have been allowed to do that. So it's like hindsight 2020 vision right now, but it looks like both of them need glasses right here. But look at this. It's another ultimate combo to just take it. They're playing their ult economy so well. They're at 80%, but here's the counter. Here's what they need. Ace is still grabbing these picks and still slicing his way through them. But let's see. Can they finish this off? With only 10 seconds to touch the point, it's going to be up to just this Tracer, who cannot even get there. Oh, no way. Oh my god.
There's a
So
beautiful
clean.
pulse bomb from Foles to hit Lazy before they touch the point. Still the overtime coming out, but no opportunity for Vox to get back to the point. And so a very comfortable cleanup from the Swans. Reminder, right, the Robins, they took down the Goats 3-0 in the last round. The Swans didn't have a game, so they've been sat in the sidelines, chatting away in chat, just waiting for their opportunity to shine. And coming out off the gate, a great start to a series. You're now looking onto the next point, Lighthouse, and a couple changes immediately catching my eye. First off, Orpheus going onto that Brigitte, so want a little bit of staying power in their support, knowing that on this point, just being able to stay alive under the Lighthouse, much more valuable. Ace coming in onto the Echo as well, having that aerial ability to play around and off the point could be quite big for them here.
It could be pretty massive, so let's see if it is going to be enough to win it. But look at this. They're actually going across the sideway here with a Symmetra teleport. Pretty smart play to get right underneath the Lighthouse, but let's see if they have what it takes to get in here. Ace already on the sidelines trying to just do that pit damage, but with this team already so well set up with the Reinhardt shield, with the Symmetra turrets, there's not a whole lot they can do except for maybe having Winston break him for their team, but it's not looking too clean so far, as this is now going to be the first tick and the first tap, but can they hold it as Ace is taken down their Symmetra?
Has to jump out though. There's not really the opportunity for him to walk on through. As I say that, Orpheus coming in from behind, gets the shield bash kill onto May, finalizes the Reinhardt as well, and that gives Ace the opportunity to walk in, no longer having to worry about these close range heroes that are really going to slow and restrict your movement. Now, yes, that initial point going over to the Robins. The Swans very quick to isolate the win condition and flip that fight on its head. And now you're looking at a composition with this Reinhardt, with the Symmetra, with the May. Yes, they can get in very quickly onto you, but what's the gap closer going to be for them? They can no longer, surely they're not going to try and teleport across this. This screams, okay, the teleport is shot down. This screams boot territory.
Yeah, one boop, one extra flaw could take him down here, but can the Brigitte actually hit it? Because right now they don't have a lot to boop him besides the Brigitte or maybe the Winston, but let's see if they...
False flank.
False flank? Ooh.
He's got the sticky. They do not know. They're so distracted by everyone in front of them, Edu.
Oh my god, here we go. Oh, wait.
Okay, never mind. He just runs past. He just runs past. Never
Blink
mind.
and you miss him, I guess. Let's see if we can find some more, though. It looks like Reinhardt. Obviously, in this team comp, if you see a Reinhardt, you know where the enemies are coming from. There's not a whole lot of capability for flank. Even Alexa has not flanked yet, and you're a Reaper. Get behind some people. But False will try a great pulse, but will not hit it. And we do have Ace with that ultimate available. If they can pick up a tank or maybe even the Reaper, they are shredding through. But talk about shredding. These guys are actually about to touch the point, murdering their way through it, but there it is. Ace picks up the place, gets himself a beautiful Reinhardt and Shatter, but no, somehow connects to only one. But Gwen, triple with the ultimate to throw him off the map. Winnable for sure.
Prime Miro wants to have a word with how you pull that off. Like, insane performance there, especially to keep Ace alive for that as well, right? Because you have Ace as the Reinhardt trying to get that Shatter off, and just the Primal Rage swings in, cleans up the rest of that fight. And another opportunity where really the Robins need to be finding something to work here, and just charging through them isn't going to be the answer. Because the Reinhardt going to get burst down immediately, the Moira short to follow, and yes, you get Vox on that May onto the point, but in a 1v5, you're not going to get any work done, and an incredibly quick sweep through from the Swans. I mean, everything from that initial moment of the map went their way. The opening to the second point, okay, sure, 4% went to their opponent, right? Or 13%, I should say, sorry. And it's like, it didn't matter, because what happens? Oh, there's Reinhardt, Moira, May on a point. Okay, well, we'll wait. We'll get the Winston to take down the turrets. When they're good to go, we'll jump on in, we'll catch them off guard, we'll play to the strengths of our composition, and we'll do it better. And that's exactly what happened from that point onwards. They just maintained that control.
Wow. And honestly, if you have players like Ace and Gwyn being able to be the players that you need to finalize those rounds, Gwyn with the clutches, Ace with the progressive amount of damage, that's what you need to be seeing here. So already with Ace at the forefront, you're at a pace to win first place. They can take this game, and the Swans are absolutely diving their way right into this game. And I'm thinking they might be able to keep this up with that kind of momentum because Ace, as you said, aced it. Gwyn made it winnable, and the rest of their team here, Orpheus, absolutely beautiful. False, making sure to make no false promises when you are trying to clutch it up. These guys know what they're doing. So I gotta ask you, Robbins, what is going on? Why are you allowing them to rob it from you? Because the last game you played, you 3-0 swept. So this is not the kind of momentum that they were expecting when they previously had just won against the GOATs. So obviously, Kings Row coming up on the next map here. Let me know your thoughts, Golu.
I think in all sort of esports at these sorts of levels, right? The biggest thing, especially in Overwatch, with how important keeping your ultimates and playing together as a unit is going to be, it's making sure if you lose an early pick, right? There is nothing wrong with taking a step back, giving yourself a little bit of time to play with, get back to your full strength. The start of this map went downhill because of what? Pick that went the way of Tracer, and then they still committed to standing near the point. They didn't need to. They can back away. That denies Ace from building up to that Dragon Blade as quick as they did. It denies the Junker Queen from being able to pull off a 4-person anti so early on. It denies that ball from really getting rolling, and you can take a step back. You group as 5, you move back in. You got to play for these fights as a team, and that's the biggest difference here. Swans in the fights they're taking, they are looking for the win condition. Oh, Reinhardt's charging in by himself. That's the mistake. There isn't the support to be able to keep this Reinhardt alive if we focus him. And all 5 members of the Swans dive in on the same objective. If they can get on the same page, that's where the success is going to start to shine through.
Yeah, hopefully they will be able to get on the same page. Hopefully they'll be able to, build that coordination. But you said get the ball rolling, and I'm seeing a wrecking ball rolling out here for the side of attack, joined by a Widow. So very strange team comp, but I understand it is for get an early pick, rush on a site, get it, and get that timing so you have more than enough time to get past the biggest choke here at the 3rd point. So can they do it? Hopefully. Wait, this is the weirdest angle to start off on Widow I've seen in a long time.
Go for the balcony instead. A little bit further forward, the Hanzo shot's already coming through, and very quick to back off from that position. Could be a mistake here, and can't quite land the shots onto False, who's continuing to do a little bit of harassing of their own. Now going for a bit of height over the top of this wall, perhaps, but still no real exchange coming through in either way. This Widow being pressured out, not really able to take the space they'd want to. Plays for days in on the 1 versus 1 with the Reinhardt, but the rest of the team just there to support the Swans in their progress, just denying any sort of initial foothold from being gained. The wall coming in to try and isolate this Ana off, and he's doing a good job, but the big healing coming through just to make sure Plays for Days stays alive. Now up in the tunnel, should fall pretty quickly. Lucio able to escape to temporary safety and eventual safety around the corner.
Let's hope that it is going to be enough. But what is that? The Widow somehow still standing, and whoa, Gwyn! I love that angle. We got to see that. Just you can tell Doom was afoot, and that is going to be just D-Day for him. But with now 1 DPS down, it looks like they understand the Widow play isn't working. Let's switch it to Sojourn, and hopefully Sojourn is going to be the character that you need to finalize some actual eliminations. Never mind.
He was false for thinking he'd live.
Hey. All right.
Alexa, play Despacito.
Oh shit. Okay, thank God. Just for that, I have my Alexa with the red mute button, so it never picks up. I just bump it. But honestly, Alexi.
How's copyright strike?
Copyright struck, yeah. Here at Wales Esports, not a league, we do not get copyright struck.
Oh, another wall, followed by a blizzard. The Earth Shatter isn't even going to matter here, as you can just see. Plays for Days charged into the wall, stuck in ice, and, well, still the Shatter available to Gwyn when they want to drop it. As the rest of this fight still swept up 1 ultimate one ultimate has been used by the defensive Swans in the form of Ace's Blizzard in just that last fight, and they have stalled out 2.5 minutes here. A nano boost for Eugen. I don't know what the honest target for this is. Do you try and pair it with the Sojourn? Do you just drop it on your tank and hope you can walk farther forwards in?
May.
No,
it's
on the
combo.
May.
It freezes so fast, they're stuck. That's why, but oh my, wait. Orpheus, using his ultimate, was able to delay so much damage. Gwyn, very upset that Ace is throwing apparently, but Orpheus is not throwing, except for throwing hands, punching Lazy in the face, and ready to keep this game going. Hopefully they can find some more, but wait, False is still alive. How have you survived this long, False? How is he still here?
By the power of magic and sheer determination, and with Gwyn getting back onto the point, able to stall out for even longer, just eating as much of this clock as they possibly can. And with the reinforcements from the supportive line coming through, still the immortality field. Okay, no, it's been shot down by Alexa, and Hanzo falls back on the high ground, grabs it up a double, taking down both of the attacking supports. An amazing job to stay alive and buy this time, and the rest of the team just making sure that this point does not get flipped, gives the freedom for the snipers to play as much as possible, and the camera spin coming through, because of course, what do Reinhardt players love to do? They love to spin their camera. We are 15 seconds away from a full hold here. There is one last attempt and no ultimates for the attack to play with. 10 seconds to touch the point. The shield used, the snare dropped to try and prevent the rotation, but the Blizzard immediately matching the point, challenging, baiting anyone to walk in. Overtime flip with Bolt taking down Alexa, who was trying to contest the high ground. It's just left to the Ana, and a tiny little tap off at the end to send them back to the spawn room. Some of these ultimates not even used once.
Crazy. But I gotta say, that Lucio straight up clutched the entire round. Obviously, False was able to stay alive somehow. I don't even know what corner of the Blizzard he was hiding in that they didn't find and kill him, because everyone on their team was frozen except for Orpheus and Ace. So the fact that he managed to stay alive in that situation is insane to me, and then proceed to pop off because you allow Orpheus to buy you so much time for your entire team to come back on probably the longest walk there is in the game. Outside of maybe, actually no, the longest walk is Junkertown. Junkertown is the longest walk.
Oh yeah, that's a hike. That's not even a walk.
I mean,
that's
it's Australia.
Trek.
You gotta go hiking, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah, look, Orpheus, masterclass to stay alive. And I'm looking at the Swans now, and like, I'm not fully expecting this comp to stay, but I am expecting some tomfoolery to be afoot here. Like, I'd be very surprised, and maybe this is just because I always like to feel like I get a bit of cheese in my sandwich, but I really want to see just some sort of little pocket strat come through to try and end this game very quickly, right? You're looking at something like the Widowmaker, which False is immediately going to swap to, as I start saying. If you can grab that opening pick, you have the Lucio, you have the Reinhardt, you have the Mei, you can ram your way onto the point and just stand there. If that allows you to turn and draw pressure away, and within 5 seconds, he's tapped the point already.
Uh-oh. Yeah, tap the point, but wait, still standing though. Baptiste throwing it over the corner, keeps him alive. Beautiful play. And now False being aggressive on Widow, not sitting back, is ready to now stand up and get some picks. But look at these players. They're stuck in a corner. And Alexa cannot do a whole lot. Ace is going to be able to get another pick. And it's just going to be the top three. False, Ace, and Gwyn, making it very winnable, as this is now pretty much over unless a Ramatra can manage to 1v5. No. Yeah, no. Okay.
Criminal that criminal, I'm gonna say, that Gwyn is allowed to live that long after charging onto the point off the amazing throw on the immortality field. But that's where that needs to be shut down immediately. You need to be shooting that out, you need to be preventing it from existing in the lobby, and you need to be making sure Gwyn is punished for that overstep. And instead, brilliant job by the Swans to capitalize on that forward position, to use the heroes they have, False, on that Widowmaker, making great decision-making skills, just jumping onto the high ground, getting in positions, like you mentioned, aggressively, far forward in the face of their opponent, because it's forcing this distraction. Oh, we have to look at the Widowmaker. Oh, what's happening in the meantime? Oh, there's a Reinhardt in our face just swinging his giant ass hammer, just clobbering our fools' faces. Like, beautiful. Beautiful
Sorry.
little bit of play there.
Yeah, I did not expect you to say hammer in that last statement. But of course, these guys are acting like a nail, and Swans is becoming the hammer because they are nailing these players down. And unfortunately, not a whole lot of momentum can be built up by them. But we are going to be jumping onto Circuit Royale. Now, that is a map where we saw a little bit of contention in the last best of 5, but this one I can tell is going to be a little different relative to what we can expect here. But with what Ace, False, and Gwyn have done, Orpheus with the clutches, the only one I haven't seen clutch up quite as well is Septi, who still managed to have an amazing play keeping their Reinhardt alive on Baptiste. It's just each one of these players has been so consistent, and when I look over to the side of the Robins, I can't pinpoint one person who's popped off or held it longer than they should have or done something exceptional. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a very Swans favored game so far. I mean, a full hold into a very quick take, it's obviously going to lead to that sort of situation, right? There's not been the same sort of big moment that can happen, but on the attacking side of things, you're right, we didn't see a pop-off ultimate come out from a DPS or a really well-placed piece of utility from the tank. I mean, they got a double shatter immediately met by Ace's Blizzard on the Mei, and these sort of things happen too many times, right? Where Swans just had the sort of card up their sleeve ready to like say, Uno reverse card. No. Skip a turn. Draw 2. Draw 4. Change the color to red. And then win.
Yeah. So let's see if it is going to be enough. Obviously, these guys still going to be on the blue team. I think they've been blue the entire time, but not so sad. They've been absolutely chill with it, cooling down and making it calm, cool, and collected as Ace and the rest of them have been able to really seal the deal here. But I'm looking forward to what we can see as I believe Gwyn is not on tank. Gwyn is going to be on Baptiste this time, and Septi is picking up the role of tank. So anything is capable. Anything could be different. Maybe this slight change, because now that you're committing to it, you're not guaranteeing too much here.
This is chaos. I'm really interested to see if this is because of playstyle differences. If Septi is more comfortable on these backup tanks like the Sigma. I feel like Septi last season did play a bit of tank for the Swans. I could be misremembering that, but it's interesting to see the Diva coming out on this first point as well. You do have the double sniper composition coming out for the Swans on the defense here, and already trying to use that to pep away and put pressure on the backline. The Diva has a defense matrix to protect themselves, but nothing to really give that leniency towards the rest of the lineup. And you can see a little bit of pressure coming in towards Alexa, but they're able to handle it very well. Take down the Hanzo, trying to land those shots on the Baptiste and the backline as well.
Wow, and they're very happy about this, but look at the shots. Long distance, Vox is trying to snipe him with it, but you know, it is scaring him away a bit. But here is where they're going to try to hold this down, as right around the corner is the first choke that I would argue would be the last choke that you want to hold. But look at the flank. Reaper right behind him, trying to snipe him again, but this is a distraction. They're splitting the attention right now, and that's a Zenyatta chasing. What?
Orpheus is such a beast. Orpheus is a beast. This player's on another level. I'm sorry, False getting a double kill as well, just in the background, but just like, it's like, oh, there's Reaper in the backline. Or it's like, not for long. Just decides to just hunt them down, and that buys the space, that buys the room for False to do false things. And I'm thinking, right, coming into Circuit Royale, I get it. We've seen Alexa want to play on some of these heroes that give longer sightlines. We saw them pick up the Widow at the start of their King's Row attack. We saw them move on to something like the Sojourn, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, Ace False really hasn't, like, they are just comfortable at this range.
That they are, and let's hope that their comfortability is not going to get taken advantage of here, though. False here for it, but now Orpheus, the real DPS on this team, is now down. That is a big pick, but oh, very unfortunate, but nice teleport. Really helps your team there. But let's see if Septi is able to keep up that pace. And oh my god, that is a lot of damage taken, but they have a counter for it. Beautiful timing, blocks it. But it's the Moira still doing damage while False is just taking heads. That's going to be 2 down. and not an inch moved, or sorry, not a centimeter moved on the cart.
It's also Diva Bomb, Coalescence, and the Kitsune Rush all invested on a push that fails because both of your DPS are already out of action, one dead, one being forced to go back for heals. Not the most efficient use of that, and I feel like if they'd had it for a fight upcoming like now, it would be great. They have stuff onto this Zenyatta though, so the Moira ult missing, not really going to be a big difference here, but the immediate loss of healing being noticed as D.Va crushed down, and the moment you're demeched, the rest of your team becomes oh so vulnerable. Septi walking through like there's no worries in the world. This player has never faced danger. They don't even know what damage is.
That's crazy, honestly. False.
It is.
I just don't think has taken any damage, but I gotta say, Orpheus sitting on that ultimate, and there's nothing that can really stop them. With 30 seconds on the clock, they try to push, you're gonna run right into a Transcendence, which good luck trying to kill anyone in that. I mean, I don't even think it's possible anymore unless you have a Zen on your own team, which you do. So this could be a possibility here for them, but Ace just nuking all the damage. False says bye-bye to Regen. There's the D.Va demech, and of course, we see a different DPS, not a Reaper, it's a Sombra, and it's unfortunately a somber day as everyone is getting taken down.
And, well, with Zenyatta still trying to walk out the spawn door, the point so far away, they're not going to have the opportunity to extend the length of this round. Bit of Transcendence coming out from Orpheus at the end. They just wanted to make sure that, you know, just in case there's a bit of chip damage coming out from the D.Va. Ultimately, I think this is just the biggest difference maker there was the way in which teams were playing around the long sightlines. The opening push was brilliant from the side of the Robins. They did a really good job getting that early progression and taking the fight up to the face with the D.Va being able to walk up uncontested. But it was anything after that point. Once that gap was already sort of closed for them, they never had a way to protect the backline, and consistently we'd see False and Ace both given the space that they want to be able to just slowly find picks and kills. And with this lineup coming out from the side of Robins on the defense, I'm very interested to see how they play around this Bastion.
Yeah, me as well. I can't wait to see if these guys are going to be able to now just be able to hold it down or get shut down on the attack here. But Bastion, you can tell they're desperate. But I don't mean to say anything negatively about, is it Wokes or is it Vivox? Who knows? Well, let's see if they're going to be able to not be put in a box this time and taken down. Look at this positioning, though. I'm kind of, again, concerned. Bastion, Reinhardt, Widow, they do have a Mercy, though, which is the first time we've seen a Mercy today. That res potential is definitely needed if they want to hold this point.
A bit of damage boost early on the Reinhardt, just making sure they stay alive, you know, in case they go for an early fire strike or something, but immediately Septi getting burst down by the Bastion. And that's the ability, when that defense matrix is on cooldown, there's a big window of vulnerability there while they wait for that to come back up again. But Ace and False on a mad one in the backline. They are not at all interested, and with the Shadow Step coming through, the Kiriko presenting themselves on a platter, but just an absolute ninja. I'm sorry, did the Kiriko just 1v2?
Yes, and then died. But, oh my god. Run away, Regen! Run away! Oh, you can't. False gets another one. Let's see this happen now. Honestly, this is just going to be a five-player kill streak already. I'm looking at my watch right now because I don't... Wait, oh. Pharah. This is the one character that might be able to do it, but the problem is they're still facing Pharah against Sombra, and I don't think it's a matchup you want to take.
It's definitely a little bit of a more cumbersome one. The moment you get hacked, you become incredibly vulnerable. What we'll have to see is trying to vie for this control of the air is going to give Lazy the space to come in behind and get the headshot kill onto False, but immediately hacked. You see them drop to the floor like a rock, just waiting to see if they can hunt down the Lucio, who's dropped off to the side room as well as Septi, able to re-mech and get back in the fight again. Still building up towards the bomb, but again, with such little time passing, there hasn't really been an opportunity to get to these ultimates. Septi able to chase it, and the hack coming through to prevent the resurrection is massive for their chance if they want to stay alive here. The EMP available, but they are going to save it. Choose to back away instead. As the Lucio, the last one to try and escape from the frenzy, is going to get caught off. Orpheus not going to be able to rejoin the rest of the team, is going to have to take just a couple second breather to relocate. Respawn.
Respawn and relocate, technically the same in a game like Overwatch, but it's also Lucio. So look at how fast they're just sliding across the scene. They're already joined in with the rest of their team, and they're ready to keep this going. But what a ultimate! That's a lot of damage. False is gonna pop the knife, and that is going to just do the slice and dice action to end this game. And in a split second, their team fight was won.
That is a banger, by the way. That is unreal what we have just seen from them in that fight. The timing on that EMP, mwah, magnifique to come through, by the way. You interrupt the shatter. The resurrection can no longer come through. You pair that with the Dragon Blade going in. I mean, we're getting the action replay of it here. Just delivering them on a platter. Able to get the slash back on the ulting Pharah as well. And that's what happens, right? That's why we don't see this overcommitment. They are willing to play out that long fight, build up their ultimates, and then drop back. And that's something that I would have liked to see a little bit more from the Robins, was understanding the tempo and the momentum swings that you get available to yourself in Overwatch, just due to the way in which heroes and ultimates, more specifically, function.
Yeah, honestly, the Swans here, they did such a good job. They managed to combo, as you put it, function beautifully together, and just were in complete synergy. And that's something that you don't get to see every day. But the fact that the Swans were going to be able to do that and make it easily Gwenable, because I guess that's their team logo now, with Gwen making sure that they do it just as good on support as they do it on tank. And now that, of course, is I think all we have for the day, because we did have 2 games for you guys to watch. But before we go, we want to say again special GGs to the other teams who won today, and of course another very special thank you to of course EsportsWales here. Thank you again to Slayer John, our CEO, and thank you Golu for being my co-host.
Anytime, Ed. It's a pleasure.
Oh, sorry, I was about to say something and then I inhaled. But sorry. With that in mind, now one final statement. I want to thank our producers and I want to thank our observer, because obviously we're here at our PCs staring at a Parsec screen. We're not in the game, and we can't do it without, of course, our wonderful observer, Little Joe, and our producer, Gigi. So thank you guys for being just the people that you are. And of course, Golu, I gotta ask you, if anybody wants to hear your wonderful voice over their gameplay, where can they find you?
Twitter, I guess.
Twitter? Where at?
Twitter. Golly molly. With a smiley face at the end. I think it's actually a shock face. It's like an O and then an underscore and then an O at the end. Still working on it. My Golly molly got stolen in 2009 and has been inactive since. So
it's been stolen from you. No, you stole it from them, obviously. I mean, they've been Golumolo before you were.
2 tweets from the day the account was created, and I'm not going to get into that tangent now because it's a whole saga. But
I mean, think of me. How the hell am I supposed to get EDU? Okay, that's a pain. But of course, again, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to go follow our production, you can make sure to follow the stream itself here at EsportsWales. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. I know that we post a lot of updates. Special thank you to all the management. And of course, if you want to see me casting, you can always find me pretty much any game, anywhere. My name is Educaution on Twitch and YouTube, or Educatinator on Twitter. So thank you again for watching, and I think that's all we have for you guys today. So hopefully you have a good rest of your night, and I am going to start my day because we are across an ocean. So